Yo, yo, boxing aficionados. What's up? What's going on? Hey, yo, check this out. Nobody cares about what's supposedly one of the biggest events of the calendar year in boxing, right? Nobody cares. That event is Triple G versus Canelo, Part 3. Let's be honest. I mean, for it's like the interest that is trying to be drummed up for this fight is contrived. There's nothing organic about it, you know. Especially when you compare the first two fights to this. I could say that certainly nothing's ever gonna live up to that first fight after having Canelo drop that belt and then made Triple G wait 2 years to get in the ring with him. It's a lot going on. There was a lot going on, a lot of craziness. Triple G had to fight Daniel Jacobs in the tween time. It was a whole lot of things, a lot of drama behind that, and it was all organic. People picked sides. Triple G, I can honestly say, was the first non-Mexican fighter that made Mexican fans turn on their own in the fact that that Triple G had so many Mexican on his side, with his so-called Mexican style and all that. It was a beautiful time. It was a beautiful time. It was very exciting. It was a lot of passion, a lot of fire. And then they fought. And I felt, although I thought Triple G won, I thought that the fight itself fizzled, and that I wanted to see somebody knock out somebody. I wanted to see somebody get knocked out. Triple G failed at knocking out Canelo. Canelo chose to box. And the fight became this, it wasn't all that exciting. The fight itself wasn't exciting. The atmosphere was exciting. The performances wasn't. Triple G, I'm going to tell you, in that first fight, he wasn't willing to take a body punch to go and get Canelo. And though he dominated the fight with his jab and pressured Canelo, and Canelo, some of his own fans accused him of running, I would say that Triple G won that fight, but it was a disappointing performance because he did not go all out. And I felt that he was conflicted in going all out because the fight had a rematch clause that would have been proven to be more lucrative for him than simply knocking him out. And I gotta tell you, I'm gonna come straight up and down, man. I own up to my mistakes, and I say I was one of these guys. I thought that Triple G sold out, that carried Canelo to get to a second fight. I know that sounds really ridiculous now, but hey, you live and you learn, right? But anyway, then it took us to the second fight, and I already had lost my interest in the second fight because actually, it's my interest in the fight between him and Canelo between Triple G and the Canelo was already wavering because of Triple G's refusal to fight, you know, to fight Billy Joe Saunders in Kazakhstan. I really wanted Triple G to get the 4 belts. I was sold on his whole hashtag all the belts, that he wasn't a businessman and all that stuff that he was propagating. I bought it all. Hook, line, and sinker, right? And he turns out to turn down that fight in Kazakhstan in favor of following Canelo and bending the knee to the altar of Canelo. And he's been doing it ever since, So even the first fight for me had lost kind of lust. And then the second fight, even more so, it was a good fight. Canelo came to fight. I thought Canelo won because Canelo came forward. And Canelo put on a bravurish type performance in the ring. I know Triple G still had that power jab and all that. But again, Canelo was hurting Triple G to that body. And Triple G was reluctant to sell out, like to go all out like he did against Murado or so many others, because Canelo hurt him. And this time Canelo brought the fight to Triple G for most of the fight. So I had Canelo winning that second fight. And now we come to this fight, the trilogy, that should have taken place 4 years ago if you wanted to really stoke, if you really wanted to benefit from the embers of the fire, of the once raging fire that was the 2 previous fights between Triple G and Canelo, right? You would have had to have made this trilogy no more than a year later than the second fight. But here we are 4 years later. I'm going to tell you straight up right now, I would have had more interest in a Triple G versus Charlo fight, a Triple G versus Boo Boo Andrade fight, a Canelo versus Benavidez fight, then I'm having in any interest in this trilogy. And before anybody says, oh, well, you're a hater, this and that, no, it's not about hate. It's really not about hate. I just honestly and truly, I think it's overdone. It's overdone. I think that it's just overdone. What more is there to say about it? It's overdone. It's done. It's too much water under the bridge. Too much time has passed. Canelo has gone on to become undisputed at a higher weight class than the one that he fought Triple G at. So he accomplished what Triple G never did. Canelo never mentioned about wanting to be undisputed until he got to 168, and then he just did it. Triple G came up talking about all the belts and all the belts on the belts, and when it was time to really go out there and really make that happen, that dream of his, that so-called goal of his, when it came time to make that fight happen against Billy Joe Saunders in Kazakhstan, he took a detour and went for the money against Canelo. I understand that, it's boxing and you have a small window to make as much money as you can. That's all well and good. But at the same time, Golovkin was the one that was telling everyone that he's not that he's a fighter, not a businessman. I took him at his word. When he took the detour and went for the money, he betrayed that trust. He betrayed that, that fandom, that whatever support that I have for him. And so ever since then, it's been a downhill thing for me, at least for me. And I'm talking from from a fan standpoint, that's all I ever talk about. Is from a fan standpoint. I'm not trying to be an expert up in here. You know, a lot of pugilists live their lives and put their lives in the ring. You know, I'm not going to tell them what to do, what to live. They're doing what they do for my entertainment, for our entertainment. So who am I to tell them what to do? But at the same time, once something comes out of your mouth, I'm going to hold you to the standards that you set for yourself. Because you set for yourself a standard that appealed to me, and then you betrayed your standards, therefore betraying my fandom and you. It's as simple as that, you know. And that's what Triple G did. Right now, this fight has no buzz. Put it to you this way: if it wasn't for Queen Elizabeth dying, I think Saturday or Friday, wherever it was, if it wasn't for her dying, Tyson Fury would still be tweeting, and we would still be talking about Tyson Fury's tweets rather than this fight. Let's be honest. If it wasn't for Queen Elizabeth dying, which summarily put an end to Tyson Fury's tweets, we would probably still be talking about Tyson Fury's tweets, because he would have kept tweeting and kept egging the Joshua situation on, and that's what we would be talking about right now, rather than this Triple G Canelo trilogy, unnecessarily trilogy fiasco. So anyway, that's all I want to say. Well, about the fight itself, who am I picking to win? Canelo. I hope Canelo starches him. I hope Canelo stops him. I hope Canelo just retires him. I hope it's not a controversy fight. I hope there's no, judges, whatever, this and that. This needs to end. A punctuation mark has to be put on this fight. And I hope it happens this Saturday, but if it doesn't, it would be par for the course, wouldn't it? Stunning would be Triple G beating Canelo. And by the way, those who somehow think that Canelo losing to Bivol has anything, has any influence on whether or not he can beat Triple G, you're overthinking. You're overthinking. Boxing fans are notorious overthinkers, overanalyzers. What Bivol did to Canelo at 175 has absolutely nothing to do with what Canelo and Triple G at 168 will look like. Nothing. So I don't know, all these people that are pundits and are evaluating this fight and thinking that Canelo somehow slowing down or is deteriorating, or maybe he's at the end of the line because he lost to Bivol. I mean, seriously? Seriously? You guys want to just create interest where there is none. And, you go right ahead if that floats your boat. I choose not to, though. Anyway, it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. Next Level Boxing Talk, baby. I'm out.